What is going on, everybody? Danny Sports here, and we have made it to the Final Four, the conference championship games. The Detroit Lions, for the first time in 32 years, making the NFC championship game. And for the third year in a row and the fourth time in 5 years, the San Francisco 49ers have made the NFC championship game. Kansas City Chiefs, their sixth straight AFC championship game, and the Baltimore Ravens, their first AFC championship game in 11 years. Let's get into it. So starting with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, the Chiefs just keep finding ways to get it done, and Patrick Mahomes keeps cementing his legacy. This is going to be an epic game. What they did last week against Buffalo was incredible. They weathered the storm. It was back and forth in the first half, and then the second half, they did what they needed to do, ran the ball really well with Pacheco, about 8.5 yards a carry in this game. And Patrick Mahomes made timely plays when he had to through absolute just perfect passes to Kelce, Rashee Rice. Even MVS had a couple of huge grabs in this game. And that was the story. Just Kansas City made the plays when they had to. And how they match up against Baltimore is going to be very, very interesting. The Bills were missing a lot of their linebackers, and you can argue that the Ravens have the best linebacking core in the league with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, and it's going to be just a very interesting matchup because the Ravens have the best D-line in the league because they have the most sacks and they're first in points per game. So this is going to be a very entertaining matchup, seeing Mahomes and the Chiefs offense against the defense. And then on the other side, the Chiefs defense is second best in this league. And they're going against Lamar Jackson, having a career year. He's been phenomenal before. This version of Lamar is the best we've ever seen, in my opinion. And what Houston did, there was some blueprint there, keep him inside the pocket. That's way easier said than done. It's for both guys. Keep Mahomes and Lamar inside the pocket. That is way easier said than done. And that's what it's going to come down to, in my opinion, is who can make stops on third down. That's what it's going to come down to in this game. And then on the Baltimore side, like I've mentioned before, they beat the crap out of the Houston Texans. It was 10-10 at half, but Houston couldn't do anything on offense. This dynamic Houston offense didn't score a single touchdown on offense. This Baltimore defense is the best defense I've seen in 5 years, at least. This defense is phenomenal, but now they're going against the final boss, it feels like, in Patrick Mahomes. And if they can beat him, I'm confident they're going to win the Super Bowl. If not, then who knows if they'll ever get back to this point, because their coordinator, Mike Macdonald, be shocked if he's not a head coach next year somewhere like Carolina, or Seattle, some team like that. And then the other side of the ball, like I said, their defense going to have to keep Mahomes in the pocket, cover Kelce with one of those stud linebackers, Queen or Roquan. On the offensive side, the biggest thing, they have the best run offense, 156 yards a game on the ground. They ran for over 200 last week against Houston. However, Kansas City's defense is really, really good. Houston's is good, but Kansas City's defense is on a whole nother level this season, and they played phenomenal when they had to. It was not a great start, but when they had to have it, they got the job done, and it's going to be a very interesting matchup. There's going to be a lot of third and longs in this game, in my opinion, and this game's going to be epic. I don't think it'll be as high scoring as people think, because these two defenses get overlooked, obviously, by the two great future Hall of Fame, all-time great quarterbacks on both sides, Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I feel like this game is going to come down to who makes more stops on third down and who converts more third downs. And ultimately, who I think wins this game, it's going to be the Flock, the Baltimore Ravens, win their first AFC championship in 11 years and their third in franchise history since moving from Cleveland to Baltimore in 1996. This is one of the best teams I've seen in a long time. This Ravens team is historic. I feel like they are going to It's going to be really, really close. The only ways they've lost games this year, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. I'm not counting the second Pittsburgh game as all the backups. And the Cleveland Browns, they shot themselves in the foot. They turned the ball over. I feel like Baltimore will convert more big third down. Lamar Jackson, I feel like, will use his legs a lot, just like last game where he had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. I feel like that will be the case on offense. And then defensively, I feel like they have the linebackers to contain Travis Kelce. You can't stop him. He's one of the greatest tight ends of all time. But they got the personnel to quote unquote contain Travis Kelce. And I feel like the run game with Pacheco is dealing with the toe injury, and also their all-pro left guard Joe Thuney dealing with the pec injury. That's going to have an impact, and I'm shocked if the Chiefs average more than 8.5 yards a carry against this great Baltimore run defense. And it'll be a lot of third and longs for Kansas City. They'll get most of them because they have number 15 back there, but I feel like that when it's all said and done, the Ravens will just convert a little bit more on third down and stop them a little bit more on third down, and that will be the difference in this game. Baltimore Ravens winning the AFC, the American Football Conference, and going to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 58. Next, we have the NFC Championship game with the Detroit Lions going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The Detroit Lions last week won in a shootout against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Ford Field. They're setting decibel records for being as loud as they are. Ticket prices averaged around $1,000, and people still showed up to the gills. And why not? This team has not won a championship in 60 years. It's not made the NFC Championship game in 30 years. They've won one combined playoff game since 1957. And this year alone, they doubled that. They won 2 playoff games. And it's going to be very, very difficult. However, we'll get to that with the 49ers later. The Detroit Lions played really well last week. Their offense is humming. How Detroit matches up against San Francisco, this is going to be the question. It is going to be very difficult. Frank Ragnow, their great centers dealing with bad injuries. Everyone this time of year is. Their left guard, Jonah Jackson, is out. And Jared Goff's been getting pressured these last couple of games. And San Francisco, Green Bay's offensive line has been on fire since Thanksgiving. It's a team that beat the Kansas City Chiefs, nuked the Dallas Cowboys, and took the Niners to the brink. It dominated Detroit on Thanksgiving. And I feel like Detroit, their run game won't be as effective against San Francisco as it was against Tampa. And Tampa's got a great run defense, but the Niners are just loaded everywhere. And then Jared Goff will get more pressure on him. It's just a fact. He's not as good on the road as he is at home, and he's not as good outside as he is inside. And he's going against a team that is extremely familiar with him in the San Francisco 49ers when he played with the LA Rams all those years. And then the other side, Detroit's defense is going to have a tough time. Deebo Samuel is out. That will be huge, because it's just a fact, too, that Brock Purdy is worse without Deebo Samuel than he is with him. Containing Christian McCaffrey, and that's going to be a challenge. And then Brock Purdy, the scheme of Shanahan, all these receivers and tight ends getting wide open. This Detroit secondary has been getting carved like a Thanksgiving turkey all playoffs. It's going to be very difficult for Detroit's defense to hang with the 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Green Bay Packers in an absolute bloodbath, in an absolute war. The Green Bay Packers, I truly believe this. You can laugh at me in the comments. The way they were playing, they could have won the Super Bowl. That includes beating Baltimore. Green Bay was on fucking fire the last 2 months. I know they had that stretch. They barely beat Carolina, and I'm a Bears fan talking about this. But it's just the truth and what I believe. Green Bay was on fire the last 2 months, man. I really believe they could have taken Baltimore to the brink in the Super Bowl if they met, maybe even beat them, because they were just executing on all 3 phases, except for special teams in this game. But anyway, back to the 49ers. Brock Purdy did what he needed to do. He came up in the big moment on the game-winning drive, and the defense came up in the big moment. They picked off Jordan Love when he made a mistake throwing the ball across his body. And this is a lot easier of a matchup for the 49ers, in my opinion, because Detroit's defense is really suspect, and their offense away from Detroit is not great. The big concern is Deebo Samuel. If he does not play, then it's going to be tougher. However, I feel like it's a shoulder injury. I feel like they're going to morphine him up, and he's going to be good to go, and the 49ers will do their thing. And yeah, their offense, I feel like, will go up and down the field. Their defense, it's going to be tough stopping the really good Detroit run game and dynamic duo back there in Gibbs and Montgomery. But they can get pressure on Jared Goff. Jared Goff's been getting pressured a lot the last couple of weeks, and he's not as agile and not as aware in the pocket as Jordan Love is. And I feel like that will make a huge difference. That will make a huge, huge difference. And I feel like this is San Francisco's game to lose, to be completely honest with you. And like I said, I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to advance to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, Nevada. 49ers, this will be their 8th Super Bowl appearance and their first Super Bowl appearance since the Jimmy Garoppolo won in Super Bowl 54. And yeah, there were 5-0 in Super Bowls before this century. They lost to Baltimore in 47 and Kansas City in 54. Bad news, Niners fans. You got to play. If they win this game, you got to play one of those teams, Baltimore or Kansas City. And in this universe, in my picks, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. I would not be shocked if it's the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Niners, I feel like the difference will be their offense. And Deebo Samuel, I think, will play. And the Lions, I feel like their offense will not be as potent on the road as it has been in Ford Field, and their defense won't have that home field advantage. And it also 70 degrees and sunny, and Brock Purdy, when it's sunny out and against an NFC team, good luck. Really, really good luck with that. And the San Francisco 49ers win the National Football Conference, the NFC, and advance to Super Bowl 58. And that's going to do it for the conference championship rounds. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week is the Pro Bowl. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do yet. I was thinking of maybe doing some type of quiz video on the Pro Bowl, just like a Sporkle type of thing, and I'd quiz myself on these Pro Bowlers for each team. And yeah, that's it. This is where legends are made. Legends were made last week, and legends will be made again this week. This is where history is made, and legends are born, and will live on forever here in the championship round, the AFC and NFC championship games. And with that, I have the Super Bowl being the Baltimore Ravens taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Hope y'all stay safe. Love you all.